So, hey everyone, I'm Mackayla, and today we welcome Vallory Falls to the soundtrack of our live podcast. We're really glad to have you guys here.
Thank you.
Thank
We're
you.
for having us.
yeah, we're happy to be
Thank you.
Yeah. So, you guys just put out To Save You. What was that reception like?
Oh, I think it was a great reception. I feel like between all the friends and family who have reached out to us, I feel like we've gotten a lot of positive responses from everybody.
yeah, positive reviews from media.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a couple magazines who really were just very kind and shouted us out, and it was all great. It's been great.
Yeah.
What was the process like behind creating the album?
A long and arduous journey that began within these hollow walls in which I sit. Many moons ago. Moons ago. It was great. Basically, we had the whole album, or at least like, I don't know, maybe like 2/3 of the album recorded at the, I would say, end of last year. And then we scratched 80 to 90% of what we had gotten and restarted. And then I would say by probably about May, like like the end of May of this year is when we really like finished it. But it was just a lot of trial and error. And on my part, it was my first time ever producing an entire album for a band. So it was just a lot of definitely very tough challenges that we had to overcome as far as the recording and setting everything up and just knocking everything out, and definitely doing it in a timely manner was a challenge, but I feel like we pulled through, and we couldn't be happier with how it ended up turning out, even if it was a little bit frustrating at times.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? Dan actually looked at me like he was going to say something, but
Oh no, I think it was definitely. I mean, it was the first time I've been in quite a few bands in my life, but more so just focused on playing shows, and recording was less of an emphasis. And so really kind of diving into this process with doing the full length album, I think was a little bit newer for me. And it was really, I think for me, even some of the songs like we were trying to come up with, or trying to, have a decent sized album. And so some of the songs we weren't rushing through, but I think that I would get into the studio, and almost I wouldn't necessarily have even my bass part kind of refined. And then with like working with Tristan and on the songs, and like kind of just getting the bass part refined, in the process of recording was a new experience. But also I liked it because I could really kind of focus on that, and Tristan had some input and vice versa. So I think it was a pretty cool process for me to kind of to be involved with.
I guess yeah, it's the last one we joined the band, and they had already recorded a lot of the album with a previous member who left. And yeah, I some of the songs I just kind of wrote my own parts, and some of them Tristan had written parts, so I learned what they had already had. And yeah, it's just kind of the last one to the party.
Yeah, I mean, not much for me to add on. Like, I was the second one to join the band, so I've been along for the long haul. So it's been about just going with the flow of things. And I mean, the drums kind of, after the scratch track, drums are kind of the first thing that we record first. So it's like my parts were done months and months ahead of time. So it's been a lot of time like me just being like doing nothing, just while Tristan is recording everybody
hurry
else
up,
and Matt
guys.
mixing.
Guys,
So yeah,
guys, it doesn't take this long.
like, can't you have it done tonight? Like,
So then you guys went on a small tour afterwards to promote it. Do you have any like favorite memories or favorite shows from the tour?
Ooh, two
I do.
entirely. Okay, no, Riley, you go.
My favorite show, I think from the energy and just the bands and such, was our last show. I think with knowing that it was our last show on this tour, there was like a lot of emotion built about that, especially like going on tour, like the emotion we felt throughout it all, like the good shows and the bad shows. And then like this show that like we put all our oomph in, like we already were like, this is gonna be an amazing show. It's our last show. We have two other bands we're playing with that are awesome. We killed it. Like everybody was just like out there moving their bodies. There was a little mosh and everything happening, but like it was just the energy was there, and then with the other bands that were also there, it just made the night incredible. It was my favorite show from that, and besides that, I mean, I thought that, and I would say the other show that I really enjoyed was probably our Boston show a lot. So, that was at Square a cafe, which weird venue to play at as a punk band,
Yeah, the
but
square root. Yeah,
Yeah, that show was hard to book because the original venue we had for it closed and did not really
No.
tell us what was going on. And like we found out they were closed because I was trying to get in touch with the booker and he wasn't really responding other than to tell me like he didn't work there anymore. So he told me to contact the owner and the manager. They never got back to me. So Tristan went online to look up the phone number to call, and the website just said this venue's closed. All shows after May are canceled. So we were really lucky to be able to rebook that kind of short notice in Boston.
it was incredibly last minute. Really, the square root really came through for us, and hosted just an amazing show. I mean, it was a combination of, we had like a couple friends who showed up, but I mean, it was just like a lot of people who were just sort of like regulars there, and they came in like all the time. So, or at least that's what it seemed like to me. But also like the other bands, I feel like had people who came out and supported them too. I
yeah.
just feel like every band, and really both those two shows, yeah, definitely I would say Boston and Portland were the
Yeah.
best vibes, just like all around. Like Portland, I think was probably my favorite as well. Just definitely like the sort of like the buildup of like all the emotions, over the course of the tour, and then just kind of, having it all, released over that one night, and also not really knowing 100% how it was going to go. But also we had the advantage of at least and Megan and I, we actually knew the other two bands were performing, which that wasn't the case a lot of the time with some of these other shows. So it definitely helped because we had sort of like a rapport built up, and we had the show, and it was fantastic. It was awesome. And that venue, BPM Portland, is just really like an amazing venue, and really hosted just a great show.
So Megan and I have there's this one at the end of To Save You. We have a time jump. And it was really like playing so many shows in such a short period of time. I feel like every night we got the timing just that much better. And I think it kind of I think actually in the Concord, New Hampshire show is when I really feel like we had like a really good one.
Yeah.
And I was like, and now it's like, her and I look at each other like right before we're gonna jump, and we give each other like a little like discreet head nod. And it was nice to like practice that and have play so many shows in a row to like get that down. And I also, one of my favorite parts was Riley had a great idea to have like a bubble machine. And that's been incorporated in our last song, which is To Save. We were closing with To Save You. And so Riley, and at least most of the shows we played would put that on. She would put that on right at like a really good spot in the song, like when it gets more intense. And the bubbles were really well received. I think it was a very unique thing that we added to our show. So
And who doesn't
And,
love a bubble machine?
it's
Who
going to
doesn't?
be it's going to be
Bubbles.
a constant for new shows now. I might have upgraded our bubble machine to something even
Oh,
better.
wow.
So
So a better.
I'm so
you didn't change it
excited.
from a
I
bubble
even-
machine, though, right?
so before it was actually 2 bubble guns that like
Yeah, bubble
I would have
guns.
to
Yeah.
I would have to go down and like I had it jerry rigged, but there was a fan underneath it blowing it up in the air,
Okay.
and I had to do that because otherwise it would just go to the ground.
Mhm.
After like getting a little bit of money together and like a few gift cards together, I now acquired a actual bubble machine, like a professional bubble machine
Oh my
Yay!
gosh.
that has a foot switch. So I don't
Oh
have to
my
worry about turning it
God.
on. I can just use my foot. So
I didn't know
Which is-
I didn't know the words professional and bubble machine went together. So I'm glad that exists.
I just want to see. So you know how like they have like some bands will have like coordinated like light shows that happen like with their
Yep.
set. Like everything
coordinated bubble
coordinated.
shows.
Yeah, like coordinated bubble shows is where this band is heading. Actually, that's like when we formed the band, that was our main goal, was if we could just get to a point where we have coordinated bubble machines going off.
Yeah, it's always been the
Very
plan.
specific parts of the
Yeah.
songs.
Our 2025 shirts will have bubbles on
Bubbles.
them
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
So,
Bubble for president 2024.
Megan, did you answer your favorite show?
Oh, I gotta agree with Tristan and Riley. I think the Portland and Boston shows are definitely like the highlights. I mean, our kickoff show at Burlington Beer Company, which is our hometown show, that was really good, and we had a ton of people come out to that one.
That's good.
So that's another one I would put in there as one of the top shows. And we had like friends bands like opening for us, and we had a bunch of friends come out, and it was just a lot of fun.
Dan, I think we got distracted by the bubble machine, but did you say a favorite show?
well, I think I mentioned it's very it is a distracting thing. So the Concord show was like, I guess like personally, I felt like that we played very well in that show. But I think like turnout wise, yeah, like the Portland BBCO, the Burlington show, like those were the best. Those were like definitely the most crowd engaging shows. And so yeah, I would probably overall, like I would probably agree the Portland, and I love Portland, Maine too. So it was like nice to play there and be in that area. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing I forgot too, was to mention was that's actually one of the songs that we have. It's called Art School, and it's actually about a school that I went to that's a block from the venue that we played at in Portland. It's called Maine College of Art.
Mhm.
So it was really cool because it's, you know, I have like personal connections definitely to like the area, but also having the personal connections to the other bands, knowing them, like two of the people in one of the bands they were actually founding members of Vallory Falls. So it was very, very cool to play with them again.
Yeah, indoor friends.
Indoor friends, yeah.
Matt and Kat.
Matt and Kat.
So do you have favorite memories from the tour? Or like favorite things that you did?
I think it's time for Stonehenge. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we spent so long. I didn't know. Yeah, I guess we weren't recording. So I was, you know, for months before I had seen this something on the History Channel about something called America's Stonehenge, and I kind of got really into that, and people were, you know, the band was asking like about stuff we could do in between shows, and of course, like, you know, knowing that America's Stonehenge was in Salem, New Hampshire, I knew that it was going to be we were going to be in the vicinity, so I made the plug to stop over to America's Stonehenge, and it was everything that I thought it could be, which was just incredibly cool. Saw the sacrificial table, saw the equinox stones and the solstice stones, and we spent quite a long time there. So I got a t-shirt and a book signed by the guy who was in the documentary that I watched. So I was fulfilled. But that was my favorite like non-music memory, non-music related memory, but band bonding memory, I should say.
Yeah.
And there was what is it, llamas there? What was the animal? Llamas, yeah.
Were they llamas or alpacas?
Oh,
I
they might have
don't
been
remember.
alpacas.
something like
I
that.
think you're right.
They're
Yeah.
cute.
One of the two.
They were really cute.
Yeah.
The little bit that we saw, they were kind of like hanging out in this like shed, so we didn't see them too
Yeah.
well, but they were there and they were cute.
Trying.
There was also the almost dying when we were passing that intersection.
Oh, me and Dan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
luckily, so Dan has a Ford Bronco, so he just turboed through it, and
Yeah,
he missed
someone
getting.
almost hit us. We stopped at the intersection and then we went, and this other guy was like just driving and he was not slowing down and he
Oh.
almost hit us.
That's
So,
scary.
Yeah.
It was awesome. No,
Sorry.
If he had hit us, I would have been the one who died. And afterwards, we got like lunch and we had a band talk about it. And it was decided that if I had died, the show would have still gone on.
Priorities. I mean, come on.
At least you
I think
settled
I-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I dissociated through that because I don't really remember. It's all really fuzzy.
You
Oh,
saved
but,
us though.
every
Yeah.
near-death
Yeah.
experience.
Stepped on the gas instead of the brake. So
Every near-death.
I didn't just stop on the street. Yeah.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
disassociated through all of them, and we made it through. There
Yeah.
were a couple times. I mean, definitely like driving in like New Jersey was rough. Or
New
like,
Jersey.
or did we drive through New Jersey? No, we didn't.
No.
Just What am I-
No.
I'm sorry.
We were-
Well, we tried to
yeah.
go to Portsmouth. We tried to go to Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and that was like a whole thing because all we wanted to do was go to the beach.
Oh,
and it sounded
you mean
the Hampton. Beach?
Hampton, not Portsmouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
where were you? I don't know.
Right.
I'm not from around
We
here,
went to
so
a bunch
forgive
of
me.
places
I'm
and it
just-
was like all crowded and expensive to park, and we found a state park that had a decent beach. It had water to swim in.
Well, they have that like museum. You went to like a museum too.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
an aquarium and an ocean.
That's cool.
museum. Yeah.
I think decent's kind of generous, but yeah,
It was
it did have a beach and there were
Okay.
rocks.
It had
Yeah.
sand. Well, actually, it didn't have sand. It was just rocks.
No,
It did
didn't
not
have
have sand. Retract
No.
that. Strike that from the record. No sand whatsoever. Just rocks.
it had a smell. That's what it had. Not
It had,
had a
it did-
really
it did
bad
have quite a
smell.
stench.
I mean,
A
that's
stench
like
of fun. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
it.
But you know
only
these,
cost, like
yeah,
$10, and the other beach we were looking at was like
80. 80.
60
It was-
to 80 to
It was
park.
$80 to
We're
park it.
like, we're too poor for this.
Which like, and I had like a little bit of experience with like Hampton Beach, so I knew there was a chance that it was just going to be like horrible. And we just weren't going to be able to like stay there or like park or whatever. But it was like worth checking out because it was such a nice day. I feel like all with the exception of one show where it was like torrential downpouring, I think actually the weather
Mhm.
for the most part of this tour was like more or less perfect, like beautiful.
That's good.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you got good. It was this summer, not last summer, because it probably would have rained every day last
Yeah.
summer.
yeah.
Yep.
It was like right around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it flooded.
Yeah.
Actually, Vermont flooded the day we left, and we live in Richmond,
Oh yeah.
right by the river, and
hmm
like our neighbors are dealing with the flood, and I guess it was worse than the one last year because the shop across the street from us, the water level in their shop was a foot higher than it was last year.
Wow. Did your house flood?
No.
We were on high enough ground, so luckily it hasn't been affected. But yeah, it's been rough here. I've lived in
Jesus.
Richmond for like 4 years ish, and these past 2 summers were the first time I've seen it flood.
Yeah,
Yeah. But
I guess that's half the time.
luckily, where we went, it was nice and sunny, and we were just hearing online about all the devastation in Vermont.
Yeah, it was really just that one show. That was in Turner's Falls, Mass. That was just complete like torrential, like crazy. That must have been like, was it actually during one of the floods? I can't remember. Or was it?
No, it was before the flooding. It's just
Yeah.
just a heavy rain.
Just a heavy rain.
Soaked all our merch.
Yeah.
and, yeah.
Oh no.
It's
Yeah,
all right.
It's all right.
It dried out.
So Tristan, are you saying that your favorite memory was when you almost got hit by a car?
Yes, no. Easiest,
No, when his
easiest,
when his
yes.
girlfriend almost got hit by a car.
Yeah. Easiest, no, it was not. I thoroughly enjoyed America Stonehenge as well. I like what? It's not a joke. I enjoyed it. It was good. I liked the sacrificial table. I liked the rocks. But I did especially like swimming in Long Island Sound as well. That was was that the only time we went? No,
No,
there was other beach. Forgot.
We went again, yeah, twice.
Twice. Yeah, I would say of the 2 times that we went swimming, Long Island Beach was probably my favorite, and also definitely one of my favorite memories on the tour. I mean, there were like a couple. I don't know. There were like a couple of cool things that we did during tour that were just, I mean, just a sightseeing. Even like, there were definitely like a bunch of places I hadn't been to before in New England. So just even just like being on the road and seeing some of these places from like just like the road was like nice, you know.
Mhm.
I will say I personally really enjoyed like the downtime that we had at Megan's parents' house and like
Yeah.
our cornhole matches that we had.
Yeah, that
And
was awesome.
also filming a TikTok that like we was like, let's just do this right now. And like it was a fun TikTok to film.
Yeah,
Who won at
that was a
cornhole?
lot of.
And cornhole, yeah, and what?
Oh, who won? Not me. I lost.
I think my team won first, and then like we switched because we had Lex join in, and then Tristan won the second time. Tristan's team or something.
Yeah, yeah. Lex was like shout out to Lexus. She actually went with us on was it 5 dates that she was with us?
It was just on our second leg, yeah.
Yeah,
She was in Plattsburgh though, right?
Was she? Yeah, she was in.
Yeah.
She was in Burlington and
And
Plattsburgh.
Burlington.
so
She came
so
to
just
most of them, yeah.
yeah.
So just 7 out of the 9.
Yeah, shout out to Lexus. She did all of our photography for the 7 dates that she did go to, which all of those pictures came out fantastic.
We still have to post them, but we're going to do that. Alexis Ford, she's Blue Cartoon online. If you're looking for like event photography, if you're in a band and you're looking for a photographer, highly recommend.
Yeah.
It's very fun, very professional. Pictures are great, but she came on tour with us and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Megan, did you pick a favorite moment?
Oh boy. All of those moments were good. I'm trying to think if we did anything like particularly like animal related, because I love animals. I think the Boston show, one of my friends came and I think he caught like our last 2 songs, because the new venue it was at was like 15 minutes away from his house, but I was texting his old number and he went to the old venue, which was much further away. And he's like panicking, and I saw him walk in like during our second to last song, and I got like very happy that he made it. Yeah. And it was cool hanging out with him. But yeah, that Boston show and seeing that friend, because he moved there from Vermont and we don't really see him a lot anymore.
Shout out to Conrad. Yeah, he thought he could get away with just skirting in and not being seen or like noticed or like drawn any attention to or whatever, because it was kind of like in the back and it was really dark in there. But as soon as he came in, I like pointed out, I'm like, yo, you, like, thank you for coming. I like said his name or something.
How did he react?
Something like that. Just like there was that dog that we saw that was like outside the Hannaford and Concord, like the lost dog that we saw.
Well, yeah, a dog ran up to us and we stopped at a grocery store, but I guess the owner is like right around the corner, so we didn't have to call like animal control.
That's good.
Yeah.
I was like going to.
I was about to skip the show to help that dog.
Poor little baby. He's a cute dog.
Yeah.
At least it found its owner though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always a plus. I was at another band show on Thursday, and I saw a lost dog run past the venue, and I found a posting online, and the dog had been missing for 2 weeks, so I was able
Wow.
to text
God.
the
Wow.
owner, and they haven't caught her yet, but
Oh.
I helped.
You didn't leave to go find the dog?
I did leave,
Oh,
and I was gone for 15 minutes, but she was very scared, and she was running really fast, and it was about 11 p.m. So she like disappeared into the dark, and I just
Right.
had to like go online and figure out like who was missing a dog and who to contact, but I helped.
I appreciate Mackayla holding you to it though. Like, and you didn't leave?
I
You didn't leave to get the dog? who wouldn't do such a thing?
I did
No,
look
she
for
did.
the dog.
good.
Yeah,
You helped.
I
Helped.
did.
Yeah, so looking forward, do you guys have any new music or more tours planned?
Yeah. Well, so it's just it's nice because like the benefit of having all this recent downtime is that it gives me a lot of time to, just work on the next the next material. So we have like definitely a bunch of like stuff that we're going to be working on very soon after this little we just took like a couple weeks to just kind of take a little bit of a breather after this tour. But yeah, definitely, yeah, we're planning on releasing material. No really like solid plans on that just yet, but
Mhm.
definitely going to be practicing a lot in the coming months, and definitely thinking of some cool stuff for next year.
We've been talking about maybe releasing a single, maybe doing an EP. Tristan's primary songwriter, and I know he has a lot of ideas, but Riley and I were talking earlier, and we've been trying to write a little too. So yeah, lots of ideas brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting. Can you share anything about the new music that you're working on?
A lot of it is just in its infancy, but I think
Wow.
that what we can all sort of agree on is the direction that we're all trying to go musically is definitely we're trying to push ourselves and kind of because I think it's very easy to sort of like get into a place where you're just making the same sort of songs or the same kind of music where it just starts to sound like formulaic. And I think that, definitely when you have the album that we just put out where, there were songs that were like a little bit older, like that maybe I had written like a while ago or something. And I feel like, the older songs especially were starting to, maybe show a little bit of their age just in their and how formulaic they might have come across. And so it's something that we want to try to avoid going forward. We want to try to make, music that's engaging and interesting to listen to and unique and sort of like our own sound.
I like that. Making it unique. It's very important.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who would you say are some of your biggest musical influences?
Yeah, I mean, so for me personally, I would say I grew up listening to just early 2000s, like pop punk is basically like my bread and butter. But like I definitely have grown over the years. 2010s, I feel like there were a lot of great bands. I loved like Tiger's Jaw, Modern Baseball, Joyce Manor, just to name a few. But definitely I grew up in like Blink-182 and Green Day.
Mhm.
Yeah, I did too. Like Green Day was a big band for me. My dad actually got me into a lot of punk and pop punk, and it's like Green Day, MXPX, Dropkick Murphys. I grew up listening to. I, as a lead guitarist, I love, well, and I mean, I love them for other reasons, but I love how the Gaslight Anthem uses the guitar and how it really complements the rhythm and the melody of their songs. They've been a favorite band for me for a while. We just saw them too, which was really cool.
Yeah, just saw Gaslight Anthem with Joyce Manor in Providence like last weekend.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riley, who would you say are some of your biggest influences?
I would say I'm like definitely when I first started playing drums like 13 years ago. I was mostly into like classic rock,
Mhm.
And for me, I would say now I would like Nick Mason of Pink Floyd was like a huge influence on me, as Stuart Copeland as well, for a lot of the more complex stuff. But then like when I started finding myself like more in like the punk and like that sort of genre, like Dave Grohl, I fell in love with Nirvana, and Foo Fighters is one of my favorite bands. Then I really got into ska. So um Joe Josie Royce from the Bosstones were just like one of my favorite drummers. I've seen the Bosstones multiple times. My professor was the bassist in the Bosstones. So like being surrounded by a lot of ska helped me like do a lot more with my drumming technique,
Mhm.
as well as kind of fit more of the song, as well as John Fishman from Fish. Since I am from Vermont, one of my favorite bands is Fish. I know that's not a very popular thing in the punk community to like Fish, but it is still I love the band a lot, and taking a lot of the aspects that Fish has, as well as like Nick Mason and more of the punk style of Dave Grohl, and mashing it all together to make this like I don't know a style that I really like, which is like fast fast punk, not too complex, fitting the song where it needs to be, but also being able to do more than just like the average like average beat or average
Yeah.
fill. It's like, okay, but like what if like we took this halftime, and like what if we did like I did rim shots on this or something like that sort of stuff. So
Mhm.
it's I've I'm just in love with all the kinds of different kinds of music, and like trying to incorporate that in my drumming style, and not just like stay like, oh, I only want to listen to punk drumming and that's what I'm gonna play. It's like I like jazz drumming, I like folk drumming, I like like I love all that kind of stuff, and putting that towards more of a punk style. One of my favorite bands is all jazz, classically trained, Stone Temple Pilots, and like they're a fantastic grunge band, and they're all got all trained in jazz. So I love that's one of my favorite aspects of music, is taking what you train in style in and what you like, and making it a whole different aspect to make it even more down to that genre.
Mhm. And Dan, what would you say are some of yours?
I mean, a lot's already been mentioned, which, I think it's why we probably get our musical interests kind of blend well together. But, um, I think I started off with classic rock, similar to Riley, like Led Zeppelin and like Rolling Stones and The Who and Pink Floyd and Hendrix, and then moved over to it's kind of the pop punk kind of infiltrated my headphones in early in middle school, and got really into Blink-182 and Newfound Glory and Green Day and NoFX, and I think that kind of took hold for a while, and kind of spread out to like 90s, like grunge, listening to like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and
Mhm.
Stone Temple Pilots. I think now, and I've been in hardcore punk bands, with like covering like bands called like Leftover Crack and Choking Victim, and getting some of that really crust punk kind of influences as well. But also appreciate more rock and like Red Hot Chili Peppers and Flea. Can't have to shout out Flea. I feel like every bass player has to do a Flea shout out. But I think really, right now it's, with this band, really focusing on like the pop punk, and, Mark Hoppus is quite the, I look up to him a lot. And, I think that like, I like, for bass for me in our songs, I think the bass should be complementing the guitars and kind of following the guitars, but also I like to kind of go off and do my own thing and have the bass stand out, and not just with what I play, but like my tone as well.
Mhm.
And try to kind of have some like I don't like it when the bass sounds just you can't even like separate the guitar from the bass. Like I like when the instruments have like their unique sounds. So which I've learned from Mark Hoppus and other and other pop punk bassists. So yeah, that's me.
That's a lot of good all around influences for everybody.
you.
Thanks.
Yeah. So before I ask the last question, was there anything else that you guys wanted to mention or talk about today?
Yeah, well, we obviously want to say thank you for giving us the time and talking to us. We really appreciate you
Yeah.
asking us all these questions and going through the last couple months and years of our history with us.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for taking the time to come on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
And I guess anyone listening, if you check us out and like us, like definitely feel free to check us out on our social media. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
And Spotify.
And Apple Music
and
now.
Apple Music.
Now we're on Apple Music. And yeah, like
And
reach out to us and come to our shows if you want to see us. But,
Oh,
Yeah,
Riley, what's our next show?
our next show is September 7th. Hometown show with at Despacito. And that's already lined up to be a fantastic show with so many amazing bands. A lot of our friends, and like a band from Massachusetts too is coming up for us. So it's gonna be a fun night, but we have lots of shows coming up that we have yet to announce. So
And that's
Despacito's in the Old North End in Burlington, Vermont.
Burlington, Vermont.
Yeah.
So the last question is, what is the soundtrack of your life?
That's a good question. Profound question.
by soundtrack example,
Like-
could I have an example?
It's supposed to be up to you on how you want to answer it because it's your life.
Okay.
So it can be whatever you want, if that helps.
Okay.
like musically.
It can be anything. I've had people,
It's an
somebody was
artistic
like
question.
cats screaming, another person just listed off a couple of albums. So it's
Okay.
really all over the board.
The sound of a trillion cicadas descending upon my meaty
Stop. That's not your
mortal
answer.
flesh.
That's not your answer.
It's a soundtrack. No, I would say probably like I did forget to mention Nirvana. I guess Nirvana could be considered like the soundtrack of my life, or at least an partial piece of my life.
Bleach. Bleach is the soundtrack.
Just Bleach. Yeah.
I like Frank Turner a whole lot. I forgot to mention him. He's great.
I like the sound of
Sorry. I like actually going out to see a lot of like DIY and local bands. Like there's a lot of talent out there, and I'm always like happy to go see like local bands and touring bands playing at these small venues, and that's always really inspiring and really fun to do.
I think we're very fortunate that our band is located in such a great and unique music scene in this sort of little sect where we have all these amazing bands that are pumping each other up. So I guess I'd actually have to agree with Megan on that. I would say probably the sound of the local scene.
Yeah.
I think I would have to quote one of my favorite albums of all time, which is "Wasting Light" by the Foo Fighters. Just a lot of those songs go really into deep meaning, and like there's a lot of songs on there that's like These Days and Walk that like really speak to me on an inner level of just like learning to grow and keep moving with my life, and just like I've come a long way since I started music in more ways than one. So it's like that journey I'm just seeing very reflected on a lot of the album of Foo Fighters, and I find myself listening to that album constantly. Just it's kind of a reflection on my own life. Like I don't know, I just think that it's a good reflect on myself as a person.
Dan, have you had enough time to think?
No, not really.
You just have like a
I mean,
buffering
it's kind of lame, but I'm just gonna say "Enema of the State" because like that album is like. I mean, I just Because I mean, I remember listening to that when I was a tween, and just like my whole life was ahead of me, and just thinking, and it's just like it had much different meaning then than it does to me now. And I just like every time I listen to any song on that album, I like reflect back and like how like where I was then and how far I've come now. And it just kind of it's a very reflective album for me and in a very nostalgic way. So I just think that it's the one album that I still listen to that really kind of gets me just gets me thinking about a lot of different things. So I'd say
I love
that.
how there's always that like one song or that one album that you're like listening to music and then it comes on and then you're like, I haven't heard this in years, but I remember the last time I did. And then you just think about like everything that's changed. I think that's just so
Yeah.
crazy.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
and it's so unique to music because you don't really get that with anything else.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Completely right. Yeah, and Enema of the State is definitely that. I definitely relate to everything Dan just said too about that album.
Well, thank you guys so much for taking the time to talk to me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, have a good rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thanks. You as
Thanks.
well.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.